right, we're on? All right, welcome everybody to tonight's meeting in December. We're going to have a great meeting tonight as well. I'm Thomas DeSevis, Chair, and we're first going to do the roll call. I myself am here. Tim Chiara. Present. Linda Alexander. Here. Lisa Benavides is not here yet. David Eby. Here. Yay, David. Yay. Catherine Parankima. Yeah. Did I get that right? I slaughtered it again, huh?
You're getting closer.
She told me earlier. Claudine Petrocelli. Now I got that right. Okay, great. Roll call. Let's do Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we're going to go now to the minutes approval. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the November minutes.
Tim makes a motion. May I have a second?
I second the motion.
Oh, Kate makes a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. And we're now going to go to public input. If anybody has any input up to 3 minutes for something that's not on the agenda currently, you can come up to the front podium and speak for 3.
Is this the front podium?
Yes.
Okay. Tom Lasik, members of the Worth Board, thank you. I wanted to bring something to your attention that I find is a little bit concerning, and I think it kind of resonates with the Worth meeting, the Worth committee here. I'm going to take something out of context. I'm going to bring it right back in. I'm sure a lot of you know what a speed trap looks like. I used to live in the South for a long time, and a lot of small counties that were rural and poor, unfortunately too many of them would use speed traps as a way to generate revenue. And it's very predatory, it's abuse of power, obviously. And the victims were often people that were least able to defend themselves and protect themselves from that. And it was done under the auspices of, well, you know, it's for traffic safety. But everyone knew that wasn't the case. It was to generate revenue. Fast forward, Lake County 2025, we have the mobile home park situation, somewhat similar situation of abuse of power. We have some unsavory park management that goes around writing up ticky-tack violations as part of a way to intimidate, harass, maybe out of retaliation. And they say it's to keep our standards up, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems, again, to be a shakedown. What I wanted to bring to your attention is something that came up in the Board of Supervisors meeting in late November. Last meeting, probably the last thing on the agenda, was the building department, 6 months into their annual budget, ran out of money. And they have no reserve. And less than a pay period away, they told the board that they needed a $500,000 loan, otherwise they wouldn't make payroll. I don't want to talk about the financial brouhaha that goes with that. There's a whole other conversation about that. But one of the things that was brought up in there was, one of the ways they were talking about paying the money back was to send 2 people from code enforcement out into the community to start writing up violations in order to generate revenue. And I found that somewhat chilling because, again, it was under the auspices of, well, to bring housing up to our standards. But this wasn't in a meeting about blight. It wasn't in a meeting about trash pickup or illegal dumping or harassment or nuisance and things like that. It was in a meeting that was essentially, holy guacamole, we're out of cash, how can we raise up more money? Oh, let's write up violations. It came up in the Earth meeting with code enforcement. There, they made a reference to it there where they needed to send 2 people out to write up violations in order to generate some data so they can get grants. And then last week it came up again. It turns out this debacle with the finances was long in the making. It's been at least 3 years since they knew it was a problem, but allowed it to get to where it is now. I'm concerned because, you know, first of all, I have nothing against code enforcement. They're actually a fine organization. trying to be professionally run. Mr. Beltrano is really doing a really good job trying to, keep a good relationship with the community. But, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So there's more to come on this, and I think it would be real important for the Worth board to keep an eye on this. This is not something I think you guys asked for, but it seems to be driven in a large part, if not too much, by how do we generate more revenue.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Who else would like to speak for 3 minutes? Anyone else? Anybody on our board, town hall, or council? Okay, so I have a couple things real quickly. I'll put it up front as an input. It should go in announcements, but since everybody's here, and if we're going to get to the end of the night, I want everybody to hear it. There is we're going to be doing a community meeting tomorrow night. EJ Supervisor Crandall's put together. It's going to be 5:30 at the Event Center in Nice for Nice and Lucerne, talking with Manager Beltramo, Maria Turner, Community Development Director, and Sheriff Bingham will be there. So if you can make that meeting, it's at 5:30 at the Event Center off Highway 20. It's where we do the Gleaners. That's tomorrow night. We're mainly focusing on Nice and, of course, Lucerne under the Copter program. So that's a fantastic thing, and I want to thank Supervisor Crandall for organizing this meeting, and it'll be a great exchange over there about ideas and concerns and celebrations of things that are happening in our area when it comes to all those factors. So thanks for that, Supervisor. And also want to announce on the front end, we have social media safety meeting coming up. I guess it's a pilot program, but the flyers are out there. Rotary Club has put it together to help with teens understand the internet and the safety protocols that might be involved when it comes to sex trafficking and other things that are affecting our youth and everyone during this time of social networking. So that's up there on the table as well. And then I was given Lake County climate adaptation plans available it's due by December 19th. And I think, Lisa, did we put that on the Worth website?
Yes, we did.
And if you want to go to the Worth website and get the link, we have the Worth website up there as well on a piece of paper. And you can connect into our website, which updates with all these factors, so that'll be coming up too. Thank you so much. And before I go to the next item, I just want to thank everybody on the board for doing a fantastic job this year, having passion and work ethic, and we do this on our own time. And it's a deliberate act of working with everybody in the community, all you guys, and making a better community happen. So I thank everybody for that. So thank you so much. And anyone else would like to make a comment before I go to our speaker? All right. So I'd like to introduce Leah Sautelay from Emergency Service Manager. Welcome to our town hall.
Thank you.
We got a microphone. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. My name is Leah Sautelay. I'm the OES manager with the Lake County Sheriff's Office. I don't quite know who I should face here, so I guess I will speak to the audience. Thank you for inviting me here today. I'm happy to talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about emergency management in Lake County, what the OES office does, who we're comprised of, and then there was a series of questions that were sent to me ahead of time. Some of them are incorporated into the core part of my presentation, and some will come at the end. And I may miss a little bit, so I think we've got time for some questions.
Yeah, we'll have,
Okay.
yep, absolutely.
So the Lake County Sheriff's Office of Emergency Services is a division of the Sheriff's Office. It's the lead agency for emergency management for Lake County as defined by county code. The Director of Emergency Management or Emergency Services is the sheriff, and the Deputy Director is the undersheriff. So I am the OES manager. I'm the only full-time day-to-day OES staff person that we have. As you can imagine, the Deputy Director and Director wear many hats and are very busy. They have a very important role, but they are not in the office day-to-day just dedicated to OES, the way the OES manager position is. We've also had for some years an OES specialist position that has not been filled in some time. And this year we converted it to a paid internship, had absolutely great turnout for that, or great interest in it. I received quite a few applications, so we'll be vetting through that and hopefully get somebody in for a several-week internship at the beginning of the year. And then if that goes well, we'll continue that. And that gives students an opportunity, college students an opportunity to learn about emergency management and the roles within the county, but also possibly practice something that they're researching, and gives us kind of a unique skill set, while we also have some administrative help at the same time. So it's important to note that OES is not a response agency on its own. We coordinate and support the agencies that do respond, and we focus on all hazards. So in Lake County, we focus a lot on fire. We hear about fire. It's the easiest, quickest one for us to think about, but we're also talking flood, severe weather, earthquake, volcano, any hazard, any threat that could impact the county. Our mission is to enhance the resilience of Lake County, and I should say too, I use a lot of acronyms. I really try hard not to, but it just happens. So if I say something that I haven't defined, please stop me. Just give me a dirty look. I'll figure it out. But the county, we also call that in emergency management the operational area, or OA. So I will try hard not to interchange all of that, but just know what we're talking about there is everything within the geographic boundaries of our county, that whether it's political subdivisions, individuals, private, public sector, everything in the middle. So I focus a lot on coordination. We call each other partners or stakeholders, but as I stated, I'm the one person in the office, can't do everything. So we rely a lot on the relationships that we build with multi-agencies, and beyond the agencies, everyone right down to the tourists that come to our county and individuals. Everyone that steps foot within our boundaries has a role to play with emergency management and community resilience. What that can look like, I think I've got slides on that, so I'll try not to talk out of turn, and I'll try to keep an eye on time, because like I said, I can get wound up and keep going on all of this. But one of the questions that was posed to me is, what are our top 3 projects? And I really don't have a definition of individual outlined projects, because we have 4 phases of emergency management that are focused all year round, in between monitoring for incidents and then responding to them. So I'll tell you a few things that we do have going on at almost all the time in a sense. For mitigation, I'll stop with that too. Mitigation is actions that can be taken to minimize the risk of a hazard. So if we put water on fire, that's putting it out, that's not mitigating it. But if we put building codes, any action, like we could be super creative with it, any action that would reduce the risk of any hazard. In the Midwest, they've literally relocated entire towns that were incorrectly built, where they had to rebuild every year due to flood or other hazards. They relocated them because the cost of rebuilding year after year after year is much higher than just a mitigation action. So my office is responsible for our mitigation plan. In just shy of 4 years, I've managed to do 2 of these. They're supposed to be an every 5-year project, but the one was due when I started. We got that done, and then immediately switched into a multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. And the multi-jurisdictions at this time are both cities, so we've partnered, but it could be any special district across the county too. So that was just approved by the board probably like 3 weeks ago, and so it's now FEMA and board approved. For preparedness, there's a lot of actions there. We facilitate and leverage resources across the op area, across the county. Put out a lot of public information to build awareness. And one of the things I've done since I've been here is I try hard to not try to target one-on-one. I'd have great conversations with each of you, but I can only take up so much time one-on-one. So I've gone out and spoken to groups like this, the Rotary Club, the Realtors Association, the Tourism Improvement District, and we try to build those kind of broader scoped relationships so that the people that are listening can then go out and spread the messages. And actually, I met some of you at the North Shore Business Association. That was another time. So, let's see, where am I at here? I'll get more into a couple more preparedness steps in a minute that kind of answer some more of the questions. For response, you know, OES is pretty much 24/7 monitoring the op area all year long. It kind of equals for me, I don't go on vacation anytime except kind of 1 week in November, more or less. Kind of a joke, but kind of not. We develop and maintain the county emergency operations plan and its annexes. The core plan is authored in my office, but some of the annexes are more subject matter expert, and so I work with that department or that agency to develop those. So for instance, the mass casualty or the mass fatality annex, I worked with some of the core members of the sheriff's office that do that work day to day. Severe weather, we have 2 of them. I worked with a team from county admin to put all that together. So, and then of course we maintain the Emergency Operations Center, call it the EOC, in a constant state of readiness all year long. And that gets activated when needed, at the minimum level needed in order to respond to whatever is going on. Recovery, I have a much more minimal role there. Myself, I mean my department, you know, OES. The recovery process really begins while the incident is still active and still going on. So as we're planning the objectives in the EOC, then we're also considering what's recovery going to look like, what are we going to need. And as the EOC winds down and recovery ramps up, we kind of transfer that to county admin and social services. My voice changing. All right, so I think we're okay on time. So let's talk winter preparedness. That's kind of part of what I was asked to talk about here. At the broad level, OES plans and facilitates preseason coordination meetings, and that's preseason for winter, it's preseason for fire or summer. So we just had one, I lose track of time, but it was about a month ago. About 25 members of several different agencies came. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. And we are able to sit down and look at our plans and say, we've prepared this, we're lacking here, we need to do this here. And it's an opportunity to meet face to face with each other and network. So when there is an emergency and we're on phone calls or Zoom or whatever needs to happen, we have that contact ahead of time and those established relationships. And we can work out any type of unmet coordination maybe that we learned from last year. With the plans, with the EOP and the annexes, we do training and exercise. I try to have one annual training / meeting with the EOC personnel. EOC personnel are mostly department directors or department management from across the county, and then a lot of sheriff's staff. So we try to get everybody together just to keep that readiness and preparedness going. And then we do 1 to 2 other tabletops or exercises throughout the year. We've looked at earthquake, winter weather, fire. This year we exercised an entire plane crash into an apartment complex that turned into all kinds of other things. I have a lot of fun with that. I think some people wouldn't, but I love this job. And then public information. So I hope that you've all heard of it, but last year we launched ready.lakecountyca.gov. It was recently reported in the paper that I launched the state website. I did not. It's ready.lakecountyca.gov. And that is where you could go to get information to prepare, the 5 steps to preparedness, topics and videos. It's as all-encompassing as it can be for the time and in constant development, and it's recognized that not everyone has access to the internet. They don't use their smartphones. Like, I understand that. It's just one layer and one tool that we can put out kind of consistently so the information can be available in that format while we work on delivering it in other formats too. Lake alerts, let's see. We also, OES does orientation training for new county employees on disaster service work, and then continues throughout the year with newsletters and other training opportunities to kind of keep that preparedness and that mindset ready, because any county employee at any time could be activated. I actually got my start as an extra help office assistant or something and the Rocky and Jerusalem fires. And I did not know what a DSW was at that time until I did. We also have a coordination, the operational area emergency coordinators group. That's kind of defined in the EOP. It's all agencies, departments, county, community organizations that have any kind of role in any of the phases of emergency management are part of that. I try not to have a bunch of nice needless meetings, but we do meet in person from time to time, or we meet online, but mostly it's emails where if I get put out information, especially when there's an incident happening, is where the coordination starts. I feel like I'm running out of time.
Leah, you're good.
Good?
Yeah, keep going.
Let's see here. So this is just a glimpse at some of the agencies I work with on nearly a daily basis to do all that we just talked about. And then this is the new look of the Ready page, ready.lakecountyca.gov. When you're there, you can expand each of the 5 steps and just go in order to get them all done. So get alerts, it expands. You can register for Lake Co alerts with the sheriff's office, which is where you get first-hand emergency life safety information. Know your zone, plan for emergencies, prepare your home. I would note there that a lot of what we talk about for defensible space for fire translates into winter season preparedness too. Because if you have your property cleared, if you have your drainage systems cleared, you're ready for the influx of rain. So it's a win-win all year long. And connecting with neighbors. I think it's probably most important that we all connect with our neighbors in the middle of all this before an incident happens, because it's just really important. But if you get to know your neighbors, even if you don't like them and don't want to hang out and have lunch with them, but you exchange phone numbers, when we know there's an incident, like there's a fire out Elk Mountain Road, and you call this person and those ones are calling that one, we get that information out faster and faster and faster, because alert and warning has its limitations, but it's also kind of layered. And we'll send out the sheriff's, Lake Co alerts, but your elderly neighbor may not get that. They should get a reverse 911 call. But what I'm saying is there's layers to it. It's really important that we all work together and kind of take that responsibility as an individual, with our household, as a community member, as an agency, organization, all the way up. I think I kind of just covered this. There's no single alert and warning method that will reach everyone. We're all aware of that. It's important to just get the ones you can and share that information for everyone's sake. So at that Ready page, we also have the response. You can just click on response if you only remember Ready. I don't mean to confuse it, but we're trying to kind of simplify it at the same time. So Lake Co alerts are your emergency critical life safety alerts. We will not blow up your phone with there's a parade coming through town, there's a construction project here and there. If you see Lake Co alerts come through your phone or get that phone call, we want you to know it's urgent, it's serious, take it seriously. And then on the other hand, we have our social media and we have our preparedness actions and the campaigns that we put out all year long, get ready, do these things. But there's a lot of wiggle room in the middle for the information that you're going to want. So that's where this response page comes in. Again, it's just one of the tools that we employ. I don't at all accept that it's like all encompassing and everybody should just be satisfied we have this one thing. I know there's limitations to technology, but it is a really good spot to go and start. So for Upper Lake, for instance, or the whole county, if there is a flood or a fire and you have damages, when that's happening, this page will update and you can go in and report that. So you'll want to take pictures, you want to record your information, explain what happened, what's damaged, and that's where you'll put that in there. You may also know there's really cold weather coming in or really hot weather coming in. You can go there and see what's available around the county to get some relief from that, and anything in between, whatever hazards coming up. So we've got the critical life safety emergency information, we've got the preparedness, social media, and we also put everything out on social media too. But this response.lakecountyca.gov is where you'll go for that intermediary, important, but not life safety critical. Any questions with that?
Do you want to continue, or you want to take some comments?
Yeah,
Okay.
if I got a couple minutes.
Absolutely.
Okay. There's a recovery page. It's set up all year long. It's where you can go to learn how to recover. Maybe your fire took out your birth certificates. There's always information there about how to replace that or other documents. And then when there is an incident, if there's incident-specific information, maybe an assistance center is being set up, that page will be updated as well. Okay, so addressing some of the other questions that were specific, one of them was they wanted to know about this U.S. Army Corps, what was quoted as a grant that was given to the county. I want to clear up that it was not a grant given to the county, and the county did not apply for it. What it was a 4-month limited focus effort within this special division that the Army Corps has. And what they ended up doing after these 4 months, that was mostly taken up in their staff time with these meetings, they met with Water Resources, my department, I think some of the tribes in the 2 cities. They provided, and that's why this slide is so big, they provided, this is not even an exhaustive list of resources and things that we can adapt. So now it's a matter of going through it all and seeing what we can adapt. There were templates, action plans, flood after fire resources, so some good information, but nothing that I can just hand you today that says, hey, Upper Lake, this is
Okay,
perfect
thanks.
for you right now. And one of the other things, as far as flooding, there's a lot of flooding questions, and I know some of that stems around the levees and some other stuff, so I want to kind of look at this from an emergency management perspective and understanding the flood risk, planning models versus how storms and flood unfold, or what we might call real world scenarios. We can all agree Upper Lake was developed on a floodplain, and there's any levee protected area has a risk. That's no discrepancy there. But one of the things that keeps coming to me since I've been in this position is references to this feasibility study and what that means as far as risk and what we're looking at each winter. So flood risk in a feasibility study is designed by engineers to break the system. It is worst case scenario with no protective actions. So it's very important, it's critical, it helps with planning, it helps with infrastructure improvements, it helps to know where things are going wrong, could go wrong, or whatnot. But it is a worst case scenario with all, in the feasibility study that has been sent to me several times. For instance, there's one area, the lake's over full, the rain's coming down, and the levee's breach in 6 places. It's not realistic. It could happen, it could definitely happen, but the likelihood of it is not realistic. So what we need to look at then is like the actual way things unfold, and what's missing in the feasibility reports or studies, as it should be, because it's not what they're intended for, is the protective actions. So monitoring, up to and including 24/7 human interaction and eyeballs on the levees all through Upper Lake when the conditions warrant. That's part of the role of Water Resources. Water Resources also puts out annual flood fight training, so the departments and the tribes and other response agencies come together, get this refresher training or initial training, and then there are flood fight materials stored in strategic locations, easily accessible, to where they may be needed. So when we're looking at a possibility of a flood, yes, there is a risk, but we have to be realistic and grounded in fact there, that there is protective actions, and beyond that, so if they're monitoring and they see something going wrong with the levees, those flood fight or those materials or that response will take action then. We have department coordination, regional, statewide. We've got a lot of partners to call in depending on the need. And then the sheriff's office and OES would come in, not just for the coordination and knowing and the situational awareness, but if there was an evacuation need, an evacuation would be ordered. When that happens, there's people on the ground. There's sheriff's deputies on the ground, door to door, going out there. It's where the late co-alerts come in at. You want to sign up for late co-alerts, even if you're in an area with iffy cell phone service, like get in on those. And then you don't want to misrepresent the tribe, but I believe it's Habimatol has just received or is applying for a grant that will, they're looking at community warning sirens. As I stated earlier, there's not one alert and warning tool that's going to make all of our lives just perfect. There's just not. The warning sirens can be great. They can be a little loud if you live right next to them, and then if you're a few miles down the road, you're not going to hear them. But they're still a tool. They're still very helpful. It's not an end-all, be-all answer, but it would be really helpful too. So when we read the feasibility study, we're looking at breaking the system, breaking it. Worst case scenario, do not employ any protective actions. When we're looking at what we really do, there is a huge team and a lot of work that goes into it every year, and it all depends on the conditions of that year. A few years ago, the lake was under, -4 Rumsey. It ended at full. Last year it was, I don't remember exactly, but it was higher up, and then it didn't even fill up, or it just reached full. Like, we never know what's going to happen every year, so all that matters too. So I think that's all of that. And if there are more specific questions or
Yeah.
anything I didn't take.
So in a moment, I'll have the public or everybody, if you're going to make a comment in just a moment, I'm going to bring it back to the council for comments first for you. But when I get out to everybody, if you can go to the microphone, I need everything on the microphone to the podium when we get to that part. I do have a statement on that. Excellent. Thank you so much for your information and time. This is actually about fires, which is, God, we've had such minimal rain this month. It's just, I hope it comes next month. I was up in Paradise up in April, and I noticed because the catastrophe that happened there several years ago, they now have signs up that say, welcome to Zone 202. Are you familiar with that, what they've done up there?
I haven't seen that, but I've heard of that in various locations.
Yeah, it was really prominent, and I noticed that immediately, and I was there going, leaving Zone 2, you're now coming into Zone 204. I just think something like that on our, I know it's a funding, and I know it might take a grant, but something like that on our street signs might be really helpful.
Absolutely agree, and it is always a funding and resources.
I know, but I
But
know
I
they,
know
did- yeah. it's-
Soda Bay community got together as a community and homeowners associations and the Fire Safe Council, and they're looking at actually funding that themselves, exactly that, the zones on the street signs. Definitely, when we all work together, we can be kind of creative and
Right.
achieve that, but I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. Who else would like to comment or question? Yeah, Kate?
I'm very curious about your relationship with the institution of Nixle, because many of us have received those notices in the past, not so much recently, but perhaps we haven't had that signal event.
That's exactly it. So the sheriff's office has transitioned to Everbridge, which Everbridge is kind of an umbrella over Nixle now. But regardless, what you're talking about there is our alerts and our alert and warning. So we call it Lake Co Alert. And absolutely, we, I don't know how to say this without jinxing the system, but we don't put them out when they're not needed. It has to be critical life safety emergencies, so that when you get it on your phone, you really pay attention and you know that it's serious. So not getting them for a while is indicative of no real emergencies in the area at that time period.
I wonder if it, because I don't recall having received any Nixle warnings over the last year and a half, possibly 2 years. I'm wondering if maybe there shouldn't be like once every 6 months, just to make
testing?
sure that everyone is aware.
We'll consider that for sure. I think that's a good idea. There's some parameters you got to do when you kind of get into that testing. But yes, I agree. And if you do question whether or not you're really getting them, you're welcome to just give me a call. But broader level, yeah, I think that's a great idea, and we'll take that into consideration.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but since probably the first of this year, the opportunity for people who are, let's say, underserved and certainly could not afford to have an in-home telephone, a permanent line, that opportunity has disappeared from the streets. So in terms of people being able to access a low-cost cell phone, if they're also challenged with being low income and transportation poor, there's a real challenge there that we have a larger emerging section of our population that has no telephone communication.
And that is exactly something that we look at. I know the county has put in letters saying that you can't end the landlines with the, what is it, the COL, the caller of last resort or something like that. Don't quote me on that one, we'd have to look it up. But also neighbor to neighbor communication is a must. I mean, we all have to kind of have that layer of,
But you realize that a landline here in Lake County is extremely difficult, and you have to have extenuating medical circumstances to have AT&T bring one. And we're talking over $100 a month.
wow, that's unfortunate. It's been a fight for the emergency management community and the system for a while, but we have to look at other avenues for sure. And
Has that been
that's-
added to the action item?
the action item,
Right. Your to-do list?
well, it's reaching the community in all the ways that the community needs to be reached is always on the priority list. And that's why if there is an evacuation, we're boots on the ground going door to door. We're using sirens, we're using PA systems and sirens, not just community warning sirens that are in, certain communities and we're talking about, but like on the patrol cars. And then we're instructing and really encouraging the development of the neighbor-to-neighbor relationship. All the layers, none of them are 100%. We have to have the layers and go from there. And yes, any improvements that can be made is always on the list for making that happen when something becomes available. I'm not sure we're in a season of enhanced grant application or grant funding though.
Well, for those of us who have cell phones and have become cell phone dependent, literally, and
Mhm.
texting and calendar usage, that's one small segment of the population. But there are people in our elderly and senior population that do not access computers, do not access the World Wide Web, and are fragile when it comes to telephones. And I'm wondering if this is entering into a level of priority for the county, because this has an impact on your emergency notifications.
I think that given some of the topics I was able to cover in this presentation, and that's some of the first parts that I've noted, is that, no, I didn't say that we have a website because that's all encompassing and the best access for everyone, but it's a layer, and we're always looking for where we can hit more population pockets, including the Upper Lake Grocery has the sign out there, when there's an emergency, information will go there. But if there are tangible actions that are proposed, I'd be happy to keep that list, because it's really hard to come up with exactly how to meet everyone's needs with the resources we have, or even if we thought of infinite funding, there's really not a simple answer because we can't give phones out, so there's not a simple answer to address it for everyone. And that's why we stress and go back to, we have to make those neighbor-to-neighbor connections. We have to get the information that we can and share it with those that we identify that can't. And then we have to rely on the deputies to go out door to door for evacuations. And there's a lot of layers there. And my phone is always open if we get concrete action items that are suggested, because we've looked at several. I know when I first started, we looked at Alert FM, but it turned out that everybody that would get that, it's a little device that kind of runs off of a FM network, but it's not NOAA weather radio, and then it would cost $100, and people didn't want to do that. So we are always looking for the ways to fill in the gaps and the layers, but we also all have to work together to keep people safe.
Anybody else have a comment on the council? Lisa?
Thank you for your presentation. I really enjoyed it. 2 questions. One's real simple.
Uh-oh.
Can we have the PowerPoint?
Sure, yep.
Because then we can put it up on our website. The second question, and you... Oh. Mike? Oh, sorry. The second question is, you had mentioned it, and I'm not sure if Supervisor Crandall was going to comment on this at the end, but I did hear about the signals or the sirens that were coming up, and I heard that there was going to be one in Upper Lake, one in Lucerne, and one in Nice. And I was just wondering if you had any, first of all, is that true? And second of all, if you had any additional information around what that will look like.
I don't have 100% that is moving forward. I think it is, but yes, it's absolutely a real conversation. And yes, I've heard, I think 1 or 2 in Upper Lake, 1 in Nice, 1 in Lucerne. Where my information is missing is whether or not the funding is secured or being applied for.
Okay.
And then, and I'm not seeing any nods either way, but where else? And then from there, it's looking at where the best, where I'm blanking, but the transmission of it, where will be the best location for the most to hear and all of that. But definitely, yes, we've had meetings.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else on the council have a comment or question?
I was just going to make a comment. On Tuesday, at the senior center, 2 young interns from DC showed up, and I asked for their credentials and so forth, and wanted to know what they were, there for, and what they were inquiring about. And it was quite interesting because they were gathering data regarding evacuations and evacuees, during the course of our fires. And, it made me stop and think once again that our seniors need to know their zone. And we've, really kind of pushed it from the senior center, but I really think that that's important for the magnetic identification be placed on their refrigerator or someplace close, because this is a whole new thing with zones as opposed to identifying streets and locations. So
That's always, so putting out that information and developing it is always at our forefront. And I don't want to throw Tammy under the bus, but she may want to say more about it. But there are community organizations around here, some of which Tammy previously led in her previous role, and maybe some in the current role too, that have gone out and gone door to door, gone to the mobile home parks, gone to other areas where senior apartments, and met one-on-one and helped them understand their zone, put it on their fridge, and other preparedness items. And those are the kind of partnerships that we love, because I can't do all of that. I'm resource unavailable, but it's information we need, and we like to be able to connect. One thing that, sorry, but we have a series of materials that are about to come out, and we will be working with our community partners, the North Shore Business Association and the ones around the lake. This is an example. This is more targeted youth, but we're working on more, and we've got more at the print shop. It's a guide and youth activities. So watch for that too, but that's always on our mind, and we really appreciate our community partners that come out and do that work too, boots on the ground.
Okay, great. Anybody else have a question or comment on the council before we go to the public? Okay, so I know there's one. Is Angela waiting on there? Tell her I'll be right there, Angela. I'm going to go to the room. If anybody wants to make a comment or a question, you can come to the podium. I appreciate it.
So I was not in the county last week, but Claudine, that group that do you know more information about why they were here?
they just said that there would be another couple of them coming in March, but that was their intention. They wanted to understand how people evacuated, why they evacuated, and they were just having kind of a small question and answer period.
That's
Tammy, can you state your name too?
I'm sorry. Tammy Alexei, and I'm an Upper Lake resident. It's been an ongoing thing. Several years ago, they came and they've been doing this. I can't think of the school.
It's the Smart and Connected Communities. I'm missing something in the acronym, but it's a multidisciplinary research team out of about 6 different universities that have been looking at 4 or 5 different, they've been researching the county in different ways, looking at the impacts to a disadvantaged community. Could be a whole nother presentation.
Yeah, and they were here last week doing those interviews. So, and then CHARM, who I also don't have the acronym off the top of my head, they're going to be doing interviews or similar thing in the next coming months. So, just be ready for that. But it's all a way to bring funding into the county. When we get this statistics and this data, it's another way to get funding to come into our county.
And I had a question for Tammy before you go. Didn't you mention, and I was writing about those zone signs, didn't you mention something? I thought you gave me some feedback on that when I was online.
Probably not the zone signs, but while she was saying that, I know that NCO has a grant to do the green reflective signs, and they're working with the fire departments around the county. And so I know that they have a grant to
Is that a grant
like
for signs that
them.
show your zone?
No,
number?
they don't show your zone, but I wonder if they could transfer some of that money into signs that say know your zone. That's a great idea.
All right, thanks.
Can I just also, I am the chair of the COAD, which is Community Organizations Active in Disaster. And, I mean, we work very closely with Leah, and if you have an organization or you as a community member, even of the Worth, want to be more involved with that, let me know and I'll get you all the information that you need to. Thanks.
Anybody else would like to make a comment, please come to the podium, and you can question or comment for 3 minutes.
Hi, yes, thanks for the presentation. Shannon Walker-Smith presented...
Tom, can you state your name? I know.
Yeah, Tom Lasik, sorry. Shannon Walker-Smith did a thing about climate resiliency a while ago, and was asking about what works well, what doesn't, what can be improved. And one of the things that was a common theme around the county was the resiliency centers, and how having them has made a real difference. The issue that also came up is that the knowledge of the resiliency centers is sort of hit and miss, kind of to what you alluded to, and to what was mentioned earlier in the board, is that there's, there are a lot of people who don't have the technology or the technological resources to know about these things. So one of the suggestions, and I would appreciate your comments on this, is I know in your LACO alerts, when there's a fire, I mean, I get those alerts, but for severe weather, like extreme heat, extreme cold, I know it happens, but I think it would be helpful to have LACO alerts for that, to something to the effect of, I don't know, National Weather Service predicts next 3 days is going to be extreme heat. If you need or know someone who needs to go to a resiliency center, let them know, and then maybe provide a number they can contact to find the local resiliency center, because they're out there, they provide a great service, but not everyone knows about them or knows how to get to them or can't get to them. Thank you.
Okay, to respond, yeah?
Yeah.
That's great feedback, and the resilience hubs or centers are really fantastic, community-driven. That's a community-driven initiative that's really great. If you don't know what it is, some of the COAD and some of American Red Cross has supported various churches and other organizations around the county. I believe we have 6 right now that have developed their infrastructure, more than 6, 13? Yeah, and we're working with Charm, and we're developing all around the county, so there's...
Tammy, I need you to go to the microphone if you can,
So,
please.
I
Thanks. And tell us what Charm is. 'Cause
I know, I was looking it up because
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I can never remember the acronym, but it's a group that, you know what, I'll bring it next month, just a whole
Okay,
thing about
great.
Charm and tell you where they're at. But there are about 20 in the works resilience centers going. I mean, we
Awesome.
have some that we've supported through Red Cross, but then there's some other, like each of the peer centers or 3 of the peer centers. We're really moving forward with that resilience center model.
So where I was headed with that is they ran out for the first time when we had that crazy extreme heat last 4th of July, and we're actually incorporating all that into the response page, and there's a standing, you can go look at who they are right now, but we've only had 2 kind of fill it out, but that will be updated. And so yes, we're working on those communication patterns, and LACO alerts is next. We've so far only used that for severe weather when we had that crazy snowstorm a couple years ago. But yes, that's something to incorporate for sure, and it's really great.
Tom, before I go to you, I need to go to Angela online.
Well,
for
just
a second.
to close on this, if I may, I would argue that extreme heat and extreme cold is a severe weather event.
Yes, I'm just
So-
trying to read, yes, I hear what you're
Okay.
saying, and I
you.
agree, but it's,
All right, so Angela, you comment? She's on Zoom. Go ahead and speak.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Leah, thank you for the great presentation. A few years ago, this was the last sheriff, there was concerns about using the geofencing feature on the alert system because of the cost. And so is that something that you guys are looking at again? Because I think the geofencing, with the amount of visitors that we have that come into the county that aren't signed up for alerts, I think that geofencing is a better way to go when we have to reach people that aren't familiar with the area and aren't signed up for alerts. So I wanted to find out if you guys are relooking at when you activate geofencing. Thank you.
thank you, Angela. So what she's referring to there is the wireless emergency alert system, also part of the emergency alert system. So back in the day when we all had regular TVs and it would bonk at the bottom. Now it's WIA, it goes on your cell phone. Emergency alert system is still there, but now we've added that. So yes, we do use that. Ironically, we used it a little too much last year and ended up notifying Santa Rosa too. That was an accident. Kind of funny, but not funny in the moment. But that goes, if you don't have the settings turned off on your phone, it will, as you enter the area, it will alert you that something is going on. So yes, we do use that, and no, we're not limiting it based on any kind of cost. But we will only use it when there is a life safety, and an evacuation is one, so.
I was also say, what's the app we're using on the phone for fires? What's that called? What is it? Watch Duty. Get on Watch Duty. If you haven't ever, I mean, most of us are on it, but it's awesome. And that person covers every flare up in our county, right? So, okay, so I'll take one more comment from the public, if anybody else, before we let Leah take off for the night. Any other comment? Well, I want to thank you so much. No, you want to come? Well, no, one second. We got one more comment.
When you're doing your next tabletop workshop, I suggest that you plan your emergency for a Sunday when there is no Lake County Transit available to assist with evacuation.
Definitely, those are considerations we take. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your presentation. It was awesome. I appreciate it. And we might bring you back next year during the peak season of fires to talk more about it. No. Every minute was worth it. We thank you for your investment and your passion. We appreciate your hard work. Okay. All right. So we're going to go on to a few topics. These should be short. Tim, I don't think Barbara or anybody, but can you comment on the biochar update from yesterday's Board of Supervisors meeting?
Yeah.
Since you were present in it?
The only real thing I can say is that the Scotts Valley tribe has canceled their application for the permit for the biochar installation in Upper Lake. So it is not going forward at this point.
All right.
I just wanted to make a comment. A lot of time, energy went into bringing the biochar Say No to the forefront. And it reminded me, I was sitting out in the sun today, and it reminded me of Gene Polino and his exuberantness when it came to the Dollar General. And anyway, it takes people to be committed and to want to, go the full, I guess, down the road to really bring up issues and concerns and put it together and have the community behind them. And anyway, I'm grateful that the withdrawal happened, and so anyway, I'm smiling, and I must say that Barb is en route tomorrow to Mexico for a delayed birthday for her 10-year-old grandson. And Tara, who worked endlessly, constantly, will be there as well. So anyway, I'm knowing that they're going to have a good time of coming together and being grateful that there was a cause and effect, and I'm happy that things are at the point they are right now.
Great. Next one is mobile home estates. Oh, do you want to make, yeah, Supervisor, you want to go ahead and comment on that? I was going to,
I mean, I
Thank
know
you.
the thought was that I was supporting it, but I couldn't really say that I wasn't this whole time. I just want you all to know, I can't just go out and tell you guys what I'm doing each time there's a vote. So I know people like to project things and do all of these different, and put it on me or whatever to say, oh, he's not stopping it, or he's not pounding his fists on the ground like a gorilla. I can't do that. That's not what my position is. Okay, and so as you know, I actually handed the gavel off to vote against it. If I really wanted it to pass, I would have continued it. I did a lot of discussions with Scotts Valley. I have a relationship with them. I know them, and I did a lot. I can't say what I said to them, but I put in a lot of effort. It's unfortunate that I had a lot of people saying specific things to me, knowing that I come from this community. I come from Upper Lake. I lived at Robinson. I know everybody in Upper Lake. I wouldn't do anything to endanger them. The biggest mistake that I made was going along with our water resources director that said that it was okay to make that lease. And I admitted that numerous times. And so I just want to say that I'm a little disappointed in people that really kind of showed me who they were. And I still will, regardless of that. I'm not a vindictive person, but I know who people are now, and it's okay. That's okay. It's a scary thing when you have a project coming and you think that something's going to happen. But I'm letting you know, I listen to you all at these meetings and I hear you. And I wish anytime someone has a concern, don't listen to it from someone else. Talk to me. You have my number. A lot of you have my personal number as well. I grew up here. Just remember that.
All right, well, thank you very much for that. I guess the follow-up question is, it's going to come back to the board, I guess the lease or something about the property, is that going to come back on the agenda for you guys to terminate that? Or?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I think you knew that, but it is coming back, and it'll probably be terminated at the next Dooley meeting,
Yeah.
January 7th.
And duly noted, and based on Supervisor Crandall, thank you for your hard work on that behind the scenes. I know we spoke offline, and that probably took place, but a part of what happened there. But you know, we saw Supervisor Rasmussen Sunday, and he concurred with you. He wouldn't give us any indication of his take on it until he was there in front of the board, and he told us that exactly.
Well, and I don't know if you all, like, when you watch, because I know everybody was tuned in.
Yeah, we saw.
But
Yeah.
you already knew where Supervisor Sabatier stood because he was against
Right,
the whole deal. You know what I mean, from the start.
Right.
You
he
know,
told us
so.
Well, thank you for your hard work on that. That was almost a year-long passion play, and 2 years.
2 years.
Okay. So another big topic that's in our area is the mobile home estates. And the reason I put this on the agenda is we're not going to dive into it heavily right now, but because, again, due to Supervisor Crandall giving me information, I was able to talk to Mr. Matt Davies, who's the owner of that property over here, and I've locked him in to come next month to remotely. So if you let's get the word out to the community if you want to be here to listen to him and to ask questions. I had a polite conversation with him, and he filled me in on some information that I wasn't aware of, but knowledge is what we need, and but he'll be here next month. So Matt Davies will be here. So he's the owner of Harmony. He also manages a lot of parks that are under the scrutiny right now because of what's going on in Sonoma County and other counties. And but his company or he owns the park, Meadow Point, yes.
He personally owns Meadow Point?
That's what he told me, yeah. But you can question that if you come to the meeting. That'll be next month. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome.
Could I make a comment on that?
Yes.
So there was an email exchange where we submitted questions, and one of the things that he responded to my email was, well, the residents are okay with it. And he said that based on not receiving any feedback. Now, we in Upper Lake know, with the anonymous questions that have been posted on the windows here or with the questions that have been raised, we know that's not the case. So what I would just like to add to that, to the chair, is if we can speak to residents who are fearful and get their questions and get their feedback and represent and advocate for them in the January meeting, I think that would be really, really impactful, because we know what he's saying is not true. And one of the things that he's doing currently, the Press Democrat article,
I read that, yeah.
he's suing a couple different cities because of their ordinances that they put together to protect tenants. And in the article, he is quoted basically to have said, he has the money and resources
to drain the general fund.
And so even if he doesn't win in court, he has the money and resources to bankrupt the cities before it gets a resolution. So this is definitely something that we want to pack the house on, and we want to stay informed on.
Yeah, I don't mind you representing the tenants if they obviously don't want retaliation or be viewed as, by him. They're suing people for doing that right now in other counties. In the article, it stated that. These are Sonoma, and they're going after the tenants that are coming out. We don't want them to be liable for just asking. If you have a comment on this, you can come to the podium. Thank you. But that's it. He'll be here next month, and we can definitely come loaded with questions afterwards.
May I suggest, in the interest of public hygiene and concern for spread of what is right now a COVID issue, that perhaps people attending the January meeting would want to wear a N95 mask.
Oh, okay. Well, I had COVID 2 months ago again, but yeah, I understand why, yeah.
Keep it to yourself. But an N95 mask is really an unattractive thing to photograph.
Oh, I get you. Right. Okay.
So is,
State your name, Julia.
Julia Carrera, Upper Lake. Is it possible, I mean, I have personal experience dealing with the Meadow Point folks. Is it possible to anonymously log on to Zoom for that meeting? That's my question.
I don't know. That's a question for Thomas. Can we log on to Zoom anonymously if someone has a question they don't want to be identified because? No. Yeah, I think you have to put your name in there. So.
Okay, because I know it is an issue, serious issue, and,
Oh, I guess you can write the name anonymous and it'll take it, David said. So I guess they can, yes. You can make up a fictitious
Yeah, that's what
name,
I'm
yeah.
talking
If they want
about.
to, absolutely.
yeah, so I wanted to make sure we talked about that.
No, and he won't, yeah. So that sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. So that's next month. Okay. Well, he won't see that. So, he will. Okay, so next thing is, real quickly, I just want to reemphasize that the great thing next year is Caltrans. Oh, guys? We can get a little, thank you. Anyway, Caltrans is doing, I sent this out to my email list, but I don't know if you saw it or not. But Caltrans, again, is doing a big update next year, and including flexible plastic posts installed in the center turn lanes. That's a big one. And to discourage the illegal use of center turn lane as passing lane. 4 new crosswalks with pedestrian-activated rectangular rapid flashing beacons. One of them is going to be on Collier Avenue. Between Howard, one of those, between Howard Avenue and Benton Avenue in Nice, east end of Manzanita Drive in Nice, Spring Road near Glenhaven. Lucerne will get 13th Avenue and Country Club Drive. These are new crosswalks. And then striping changes to enhance intersections in Pomo Way and Robinson Rancheria. Collier, is it Collier? Collier Avenue in Nice. Spring Drive in Nice, and Manzanita Drive in Nice. And Island Drive in Clear Lake Oaks. So those are little things, but I think the big thing is the channelizers, which they call them, the plastic ones that'll go in the middle lanes. Again, they tried this up in Orick, which is a community above Eureka. It's a beautiful area up there. If you've never been up there, it's absolutely gorgeous. There's so much stuff to do. And they tried the channelizers there as a test, and it worked out really well. So look forward to that. That's supposed to go out for bidding in March. I was told by Caltrans, and then hopefully summer we'll see the work happen. Yay!
Thomas,
Yeah,
did you read the Upper Lake locations?
I thought I did. Maybe did I miss any? I had the list here.
Like
Okay.
Mendon Hall is one. For the things
Okay,
in
maybe
the
I missed
center.
it on here. I just had the list that we had originally sent out to everybody. All right, well, if I missed any, the more the better, but that's a great thing. So the next one is, next item is I wanted to talk about some improvements for next year. I guess this is kind of open, so I don't want to make it too long, But for Worth Business, or we can have public comments on it too. I want to talk about improving the town hall. We will have, election for the chair and in January for the vice chair again. But I would like to talk about any improvements, I guess, from the town hall council first of what we can do differently. I think one big improvement's already been established, and that's been the website. And we do have the website address up on a paper if you need that, and that's Lisa putting that together, and we'll join her on administering that throughout the next year. It's a great thing, and bringing in a lot of information to the community for our meeting. But does anybody have any comments? And I maybe have one or two, but Lisa?
Yes. At the beginning of this year, we had actually talked about outreach and maybe using a meeting to talk about what is a MAC, and what is it that we do and what's within our jurisdiction. I think that would still, I would love to see that in the first quarter of next year if we could put some sort of presentation and then maybe do some sort of outreach to get folks aware of what it is that we do and how we try to do it.
So you think like one meeting should be devoted to that sort of subject?
Well, I don't know if we need an entire meeting, but definitely an
But I mean,
item.
It's possible. I mean,
Yeah,
I
maybe.
mean, like, so you're basically saying an educational.
Yes, like an
presentation-
outreach. Mhm.
presentation.
So individuals know what we actually are
How
and
we
what
got-
we're
how
supposed
we
to
got
do.
here.
Maybe introduce ourselves, our backgrounds a
Yeah.
little bit, and how we got
Right.
involved, and maybe
Yeah.
get more people inspired to do it.
Exactly.
And we can maybe, I love all you guys coming all the time. You have passion and yeah, I love it. But we need more, nothing to, we can trumpet our horn all that we want, but we want more people to come and all age groups. And I think that's a great idea because we want just people to, take our place at some point and become involved with what we're doing and take over and run with and run to improve.
Some way, to get younger people involved, I mean, not to say that we're old.
Are you saying younger than 68, Tim?
Well, let's say that some people that have more energy than
You don't, okay, I'm offended by that. Hold on, I'm getting sleepy now. If I wasn't gonna take a nap.
too, but it's the truth.
Well, all right, so, one thing does anybody else that was great. Anybody else, to brainstorm?
Well, as an opportunity to open up the floor, I will be leaving the board with this meeting, and there is now an opening for a member from the community for the community of Nice.
Well,
So
it's
please
actually-
talk it up.
Kate's position was actually an at-large position, so it wouldn't specifically have to be from Nice. It could be from the whole district.
So we're putting it out there that, there are 3 openings, but 2 of them, I believe, are reapplying. So one, Kate is leaving us, and I want to say thank you so much. She'll continue her other community services, like Gleaners and many other things she does, and she'll still come, I'm sure, to our meetings. So if you know of anyone, I know Lisa mentioned somebody, and anyone you may know and be interested in the community service, put it out there and have them apply. It's brings a lot of purpose to your life, and I know it's a lot of dedication. So thank you so much. Anybody else have any other?
And also maybe mention that to apply, if you go online to the county portal and go to is it the Board of Supervisors and then to the appointed,
Yeah, appointed government, yeah.
I can put the link on the website.
Yeah, it's just you go to the boards and commissions, and then it says advisory boards, and then you'll see in that drop down it'll have applications. You can do those online.
but Lisa, then she can put that link on the website.
Yeah, there you go.
EJ, what is the age criteria? Do you have to be a voter? or
Just a
what?
voter. Yeah, you have to be a
Voter?
registered voter in the district, in the area.
18, yeah.
And an address in the area, of course, yeah.
I'd love to see someone in.
Oh, 18's good. Yeah, we had a guy that was 20, I think, over.
I love it.
We have a student board member on our school board, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them to learn about the whole process of being a board member, and they actually have educational opportunities for them. He was sent down to, I forget, Bay Area or something, so there's training there, so
Yeah.
it's a possibility.
All right, so anybody else, any ideas?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I still like the idea of having a meeting in Nice, having a worth meeting in Nice. I think that would be really good.
Well, we can certainly work on that. The Vision Center, or the Event Center would be one place, but we can look at that in the future possibly. I'd like to have one there too, or in the Nice vicinity. I'd like to have one in the vicinity of Nice as well. Can you hear me now? Oh, you're off. Another thing I would like to talk about is, I don't know if it's even allowed under the Brown Act, but I was talking to Thomas about this, about doing a podcast or something to talk about issues in our area. I don't know who would be on it. It was just exploration of ideas to expand our territory. Yeah, they have a location in Lakeport at the game store that actually set up as a podcast center, so it might be something we explore. We can have topics on there that we consider in the Worth meeting, and then we can put it on PEG TV, right?
And could you, yeah.
We're trying to work out a similar, not soon, maybe teens. The New Year's coming. So,
All right. And when is this launching?
Brandon and I are launching this month.
Okay, it's launching this month, so we can explore that as well, possibly.
So
Just some
like to
ideas.
have a Worth podcast?
Possibly.
And we could have guests?
It's going to be a gaming podcast, and we're going to have an area where we can do podcasts. So yeah, the plan is to at Kingdom Games in Lakeport, we will have a podcast studio set up. The podcast is for Kingdom Games. We're trying to get kids more involved in from the community coming in, and it's a good topic. Games, kids love games, so this is a great way to get them in. Kind of learning also what I do, and so. Finding the right platform. Zoom has been tough. It's been a struggle for me this year. I'm hearing that Teams is better. She's shaking her head. Said no. So I don't know. It's a learning curve. Like tonight, we're doing good with Zoom. Zoom updated right before we went on, and so I think that was part of the reason why we're having such a good stream tonight, instead of Zoom wanting to update during the webinar meeting, which it constantly does. And if I don't catch it, it'll just sometimes just go and do the update itself, and next thing I know, we've gone to.
Okay.
And we do have a hand raised. Betsy Kahn is on.
Yeah, Betsy, do you have a comment?
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Not quite.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Betsy.
Well, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Oh, great. So what you guys may not know is that I have a radio program on KPFZ 88.1 FM every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. And part of that program I dedicate to covering all of the municipal advisory councils in the county, especially District 3, because I live in Upper Lake. And of course, the West region is my home, and you're my hometown. So I just want you to know, and the incredible work that you're doing. I always let people know what's coming up, and Jim sends me the agendas. I post those on a Facebook page for municipal advisory councils. It's an incredible piece of work, and I cannot thank you enough.
Oh,
Thank you,
bet.
Betsy.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to reiterate, Betsy, I also do a radio show on Wednesdays, and I always let the community know that what the next municipal area councilors. I try to bring your agendas with me too. As long as you guys post them on time, I get them on the radio on time. And thank you, Betsy, for doing that. We really appreciate that. And please give us a shout out, Lake County PEG TV on our YouTube channel. I know you will.
All right, so does anybody have a comment on that in the public or in the room? Okay. So if not, we'll go to the next one. Super Mac update. I guess, Lisa, I guess the last time we talked about this was, you want to comment on this?
The only update we have is Holly, Ange, and I spoke this week, and we found out that the survey was still open, and we do have responses up through November. So I didn't have the time to roll those up for this meeting, but in January we will give a final report out of the District 3 Community Survey.
Okay, thank you. We talked about my next item was Worth member application. We already talked about that. If you want to apply, and we're going to have that link shortly at some point this week or soon. Be up tonight. So make sure to, if you don't know the address, there's a copy of it up there. It's becoming it's going to be incredibly important for us to have that website for everybody to reach out to it and for documents and updates on what's going around. And as it gets bigger and bigger, we'll have more information. All right, so we're going to go to subcommittees. Dave,
One last hand raised here
Oh,
on Zoom. Go ahead, Betsy.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I would make a suggestion that you print the website address on a banner that you post on the wall behind you so that people can see it.
Yeah,
All right.
great suggestion.
Yeah, that is a great suggestion. I'll get it on camera for you.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, Betsy.
All right, so, next, subcommittees, Dave?
Hi. Merry Christmas.
State your name.
I'm Dave Hendrick, co-lead for the Powell Road Subcommittee. Mike Bell, my co-lead, is in the hospital, and he should be out tomorrow, but he had sepsis going on, and he was in pretty much pain yesterday, but I think he's better. So what's been going on lately is that car that was dumped that I talked about last meeting finally got picked up a couple of days ago. They finally hauled that out. Cody was arrested again a couple of days ago. Got into some kind of altercation with somebody in Upper Lake, and he was out within a few hours. He got a disorderly conduct and I guess drug use. Marcus, I asked him for an update on what was going on, and he told me that they're really busy. They have a couple of abatements going on, and they're abating other properties around the area. And then this morning I got a notice from Code Enforcement's automated messaging system that the notice to abate the property on Cody's was issued today. I asked them to clarify when it would come up, and they told me to get a public information release. So I don't know when anything is going to happen about it. I caught a guy in a white Jeep dumping trash up on Main Street again, and I confronted him, and he was just an asshole, and I knew I shouldn't do it, but I went and confronted him anyway. But he was taking the trash from in front of the house on Morton Street that's been there for a year. It hasn't been cleaned up, and taking it and dumping it out in the woods. And that's it seems really stupid that that trash has been sitting there forever, and now it's dumped in the woods. At any rate, I asked Logan to if they would do anything about it, and he didn't seem to think that there was anything they could do about it. But so there's another big pile of trash up on Main Street again. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. All right, Upper Lake School traffic safety?
I had another conversation yesterday with Sergeant Powell, and I just kind of discussed the situation with the schools, and school will be out for 3 weeks, so 2 more days and it'll be quiet and silent. Now, I just wanted to say that EJ had suggested Mike Armada, is he a patrol? Oh, I guess EJ left.
He stepped out.
Okay.
He stepped out.
Okay, this is kind of a long conversation with this sergeant, and he has said that they're not receiving any complaints from anybody in Upper Lake regarding excessive speed and carelessness, you know, in driving. So he wanted to know if I thought it would generate fear if people, you know, would go and make it a complaint. And he said it could be anonymous, but he just stated over and over how important it is to make a complaint to them so that they will up their travels through to check on things. So
And that's CHP?
that's CHP. And he said that they do drive-bys once a week through the school area. They try to get the morning and sometimes the afternoon, but it's up to us as citizens to make reports. And the number is 707-281-5200. And it just, he said it over and over again. Please take the time to make a report, a complaint. You don't have to use your name, but this would generate their pro-action and getting out here and being more visible and making stops and so forth. So, and they are aware of the congestion that happens at pickup and drop off at the schools. So they'll be out for 3 weeks, so it'll be quiet there. But please, folks, I know you all see excessive reckless driving, and if you can give a description of the vehicle, or better yet, if there was a license plate, that would be great. But he's urging everybody to please make complaints.
All right, is that it for that? Okay.
I'm wondering if, EJ, if you could find out if we could move one of the flock cameras that's now perhaps underutilized over into that area of Upper Lake to basically track the vehicles and the times of day that these events are happening.
You're asking, say it again, please, with the cameras, the flock cameras, where are you saying?
I would move the one that's on Hudson
Yeah.
at Dixie now, which may be underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
And if it were positioned where it could basically watch that coming together of those three intersections.
Which three again? Not the Hudson but you're talking about a different spot?
I'm referring to Claudine's Upper Lake School.
Oh, yeah. No, well, I've already moved some of them, but it's not out of the question to do that still. So we can put one in Upper Lake if that's, where would you like it at?
Well, the congestion, as Tenderly could report too, it's the elementary is the kind of hot spot of the parents or whomever. They're late and they're rushing down the street, and yeah, the speed of the drop-offs and pickups are dangerous.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to them and see if we can get those moved. Because Hudson probably, I mean, the situation at Hudson has changed, so I don't think it's a necessity to have it there, so we can work that out.
Thank you, EJ.
We almost need like those mobile ones they have that the police use.
If you want me to add on that we've
Yeah.
actually worked on getting a couple of those.
Yeah, they're great.
yeah.
Construction zones use them.
There's a couple of new spots that I've looked at. I'm not going to say it yet because I want to make sure they're in. But to make sure the dumping, we're looking at cameras that aren't just license plate readers, because it's been really difficult to try and track and triangulate and all that good stuff you do when you're looking for who dumped and this and that. But with these cameras, they're still cameras, and so it will show the actual act in the spots that we're looking at. And with those and the actual LPRs, you can have the opportunity to know what vehicle and track it down.
Awesome. Okay, so before we get to the Upper Lake, did you want to speak on it tonight? The Upper Lake Levy Subcommittee? Yeah. Before we get to that, I've talked to Hannah Clark, who's with the Caltrans funding for Clover Creek diversion, and I've invited her for February. However, I'm still working trying to wait for Director Pawan to invite him. I've invited him to that meeting as well, so I'll work on getting him. So if you want to go ahead and speak about that, thanks, Julia.
Thanks for doing that, Thomas. Much appreciated. So we were going to wait to do any kind of formal report until the February meeting so we can hear from Caltrans and Water Resources. Hopefully Pawan will respond. He said he was going to. What's been happening, if you haven't already noticed, is that CCC has come in and is clearing the historic Clover Creek of debris and branches, and they're hoping to get up into the diversion gates and to the right about 200 feet. We'll see if that happens. You know, it all depends on how fast they work and that kind of thing. I'm going to wait to say anything about the update on the levee stuff because Pawan and Caltrans can provide that information.
All right, thank you very much.
Sure.
East Copter, who's doing that, Tim?
I can do that. Our next meeting was supposed to be tomorrow, which has been postponed because of the community meeting in Nice. And then the next meeting after that was going to be on New Year's Day. So we decided that maybe that wasn't the best day to try to meet as well. So our next meeting will be on the 8th of January. And then the 15th of January, we will be having a meeting with people from the Sheriff's Department that are going to help us set up our Citizens Patrol and our Neighborhood Watch. And that's about it at this point.
Okay, thank you so much.
If I might add one thing.
Yes.
We are collecting names of those who would like a Neighborhood Watch sign. So in the Neighborhood Watch Facebook group,
Okay.
if Robin made a post and you can submit your name there or let any of us know, because on the January 8th meeting, we're going to be talking about how many do we need, how do we order them, and all of that. So if you know of anyone in Nice that wants a sign, or if you want a sign, please let us know.
And these are the signs that you have to put on your property, right?
Yes, they go on your property. They say it's a Neighborhood Watch. You see them here. There's one on Middle Creek. They're everywhere. But it just indicates to ne'er-do-wells that somebody is watching them.
Ne'er-do-well.
Somebody's watching. All right, great. That's great. Don't forget, and I'm sure EJ will talk about that in a moment during his announcements, that community meeting coming up. And before we go to EJ, we're got the Worth. Do we want to talk about getting a projector?
Yeah, let's get one.
Do we need one?
Well, I think we need one that's sort of what they call like a short throw. It's sort of like it doesn't have to be far away, but it sort of gets up a picture that, and like that's a, you know. Yeah. I mean, it could be out of the way. And there's some now that have USB and Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff, and that would be nice, but they might be out of our budget reach. Oh, of course, we don't have a budget, but we have discretionary funds, right? Yes, we do. So I don't know. I've looked at a few things online, and there's a vast array of projectors out there from questionable and cheap to very, very expensive. So somewhere probably for us closer to questionable and cheap would probably be more likely to be on.
Questionably cheap item? What does everybody think about that? Do we need one? Would you like one? Do we have the money?
I mean, we can survive with what we have, but you know, it would be nice to have something that's a little
Do we have
more
money?
fill up the
Yes,
screen
we do.
sort of thing.
Oh, you might be able to get an improved device?
I would
Yes.
be interested in hearing from the audience, from folks that have attended our meetings, if the quality of presentation is a concern when we use the projector, because that would be a good way for us to know.
Say yay or nay.
Yeah, so if those of us who have been to many meetings that we've used the projector, if you have opinions, that would be helpful.
No, Tom.
Well, I've attended not only this one, but in other venues. I think this is as good or better than most. So I don't have an issue with the projector. I think the challenge here is the sound. Thomas might comment on that, but there's quite a bit of an echo.
Yes.
So think about that. The other thing to think about, maybe in the summertime, I can't remember for this building, but I noticed in other buildings when they have the air conditioner on, it's literally deafening and you can't hear over that, so. But
All right.
anyway, just as someone who's kind of been around the block a few times.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Tom, for your feedback. He's awesome, goes to all the meetings. Tim?
Well, we just talked, Anthony Arroyo from the Habematol tribe was just in here
All right.
before the meeting started, and he asked us to provide a letter of support saying how, how well they've treated us over the many years that we've been meeting here. And he did mention they're trying to get a grant for audio-visual improvements
Wow.
of the building. And so and I mentioned to him that if they had like something like wall hangings or that kind of thing that sort of deaden the room a little bit instead of being so lively, you'd call it. And so that's something that we can think about too.
And believe it or not, curtains make a huge difference.
Anything
and, you know,
helps.
and maybe not thin curtains, but thick curtains, and you hung them along the wall would just absorb this room that just echoes. It's,
The ceiling too is kind
All
of,
right.
not
as
the
well,
best.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's made out of metal, I think.
Do we need to, does anybody,
No, I think
we're going to hold off for
Yeah,
now
we're
because
gonna
there were
wait
some
and see what they're
developments.
doing. He's going to look
Thomas
into
is
the
going to look into
projector.
his, what he can do next year into your budget. Maybe you'll have a projector that's.
Well, yeah, but this is a 3-year-old projector.
All right, so you need a new one. Most electronics are done after 2 years, you know.
Yeah.
4K and
But sort of like
Dolby. It is? Oh, okay.
the multiple
8K.
the multiple inputs would be handy, so you could just walk in and say, just go on the
In fact,
Bluetooth and bing.
I think the instructions said 4K ready. I don't know
Okay,
exactly
guys,
what
that's
that
good.
means, but.
Let's go to Supervisor Crandall.
Before,
Oh.
and I'm going to toss a question to you, so.
Okay.
But you mentioned that he requested a letter of support. I believe that would be an actionable item that we'd have to discuss and vote on.
Well,
if-
we can't
Do
have
we
an
need a
action
motion?
item that isn't on the agenda.
I don't have it on the agenda, though.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure if he has a deadline before our
He does,
January
he has
meeting.
it by the end of this month.
I can put it on the agenda right now.
That's
I- as
too
chair.
late, it's too late.
I can't add it to the agenda with my authority? I don't know.
Well, my question for you Supervisor is providing letters of support on behalf of community organizations for grant applications within our jurisdiction.
I don't think it should be an issue. Maybe what you can do, because of the Brown Act, is we're meeting tomorrow at the Nice Center. I don't know if all of you are going or if you get a quorum. Put that on your special meeting, announce it at the Nice Center, and do a quick meeting, make sure it's announced properly. And, I mean, I'm just thinking out of the box, but that gets you what you need. You don't have to write the letter there. You can just say, we vote on a support letter, and it will be conducted by
You
whoever.
can do it at the beginning or at the end, or?
Do it any time, even during it, because it's not, the one we're having isn't a Brown Act deal. It's a town hall where they're just all coming forward and talking. Yeah.
Couldn't we all just walk out of the room and then you could give us the agenda?
Betsy,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes. To clarify, if you wanted to add an agenda item, you had to do that when you adopted the agenda. So you cannot do that tonight. You would have to convene a special meeting to do that, which requires 24-hour notice to the board members that you are going to conduct that meeting. And you could do that with an email tonight to convene that meeting tomorrow evening in Nice. That's the procedure that you have to use according to the Brown Act.
So we'll just say a special meeting tomorrow, we'll send it out tonight.
With a single agenda item.
Single agenda item at the NISA that will approving a letter of action for grant recommendation.
But if it's a special meeting, we have to notify the county, right?
Yeah, that's the difficult part about it is,
It's 7 to 3.
yeah, you need, it's just 24 hours for a special.
Okay, you know what we'll do is we'll have to come together, we'll text each other and then meet. I guess we have to meet in person, right? Technically?
Yeah,
We can meet anywhere, it doesn't have to be here.
yes, yes.
And we'll meet somewhere and we'll all approve it. And we'll figure out who's available when, and we'll make it happen. Because Tony's great, overwhelmingly generous they've been to this community.
I mean, I can do one without the Brown Act and just like say that my municipal advisory
Oh,
committee.
okay.
I think
Would
that's
you like
great.
that?
That'd be fantastic.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, we love, this is great. Oh, yeah, do you want to do that instead?
I'll do it.
Okay, so a special meeting in the dark alleys. Okay, thank you so much. So Supervisor Crandall, updates, thank you.
Well, you guys have given them all. With a meeting tomorrow night, as you know, it's 5:30. And that's going to give you guys the opportunity to get your questions in and kind of, especially the situation of Pile Road and whatnot. So I know that that's an important deal there. Let's see, biochar, we already talked about that. I don't really, I had something, but I've been getting a lot of calls during the meeting about something from home, so I apologize for that.
That's all right.
So my mind's kind of here and there, just for the moment. So if there's questions, I'll just go ahead with that.
Well, I want to thank you for getting that meeting together and tomorrow night. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah,
everybody together and.
I like doing those, and so, I know we have our meetings here, of course, or you have your meetings here and the others, but it's okay to every now and again, let's have one of those. That way, it can be relaxed, and we can have people there that could have to, not have to, but they can answer questions for you and things like that. Gives you the opportunity to come together and not have to worry about the Brown Act so much. Go ahead.
Hand raised?
Angela on Zoom has a question for you, EJ?
Yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Crandall, I just wanted to ask if you had any updates about Pillsbury
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
the trafficking. They're going to be doing the presentations, and I think you gave some discretionary funds for that too. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, actually, that was a good one. I do an update on Pillsbury. So comments going in, there was an article from support from the Secretary of, I can't think of it right now, Agriculture, from Brooke Rollins to support that. And I know that Mayor Todd Lands had a meeting he invited, but we had that 1 o'clock for the board. So continuing forward, we had a closed session item on Tuesday. I won't go into detail on that, but we're still doing what we can. And then also, there was a roads presentation Tuesday as well. And we talked about, well, this area is on the list. That's good news. Let's see if it follows through, of course, but I don't think Lars or Jim Hale would steer us wrong. I think the concern, though, is, well, this isn't for Lucerne, but I know that there's some folks that were like, wait, what about them? And some concern also was that, one area without considering other areas, and I know we had mentioned, so that other areas that have, really dire situations, I know in Nice is going to be covered under that whole, that whole process or that whole plan. But like you have some that are maybe in Lakeport or maybe in Middletown or even Lucerne, since it's not covered. I know Clear Lake Oaks isn't even on the list either, and they were one of them. So like if there's spots there that they can probably knock out and add to the list, I really encourage that. We'll see where it goes from there, but I do know first and foremost Nice, Upper Lake, and some part of District 4 as well are covered under that plan for this upcoming year. And it was good to know that. It was good to see that. They talked about the situation with the previous plans that came together because we were concerned about that. We're upset with that. A lot of us are because it stated that we were first and it stated we were last. had a lot of projects that amounted up to millions of dollars, and Lars had mentioned after hitting on that for a while that they were basically pipe dreams of plans, if you will. But they were also put in place to make sure that if we did get funding, we had a plan in place. So whether we got it from Congressman Thompson or some sort of grant or anything like that, the plan was there for it. But of course, we even myself assumed that it was something that was going to get done. But I think the one that's been presented yesterday is a lot more realistic, and we're going to keep our foot on the pedal to make sure it gets done.
Yeah, I sent an email to Lars, appreciated that incredible, I thought it was refreshing, so honest and clarity on the plan. If you haven't seen it, go to PEG TV. I did email him today and asked him, I thanked him for the clarity and honesty, and then I asked him about the Neese cutoff, because I know, and he said, yes, that's on the list, because that Durapatch job is, so hopefully we'll see that. But yeah, I thought it was a really good presentation.
Nice. Yeah, and then I think I covered what Angela was talking about.
Pillsbury.
Yeah, Pillsbury, I just, trafficking.
Trafficking, yes, you did say that.
Oh, yeah, you know what, there is, I forgot his name, but there was some, human trafficking. There's an initiative over in, I forgot the group, but anyhow, Rotary. And so they had asked if I would donate an amount for discretionary funds. And so, of course, it's something that benefits the whole county and whatnot, so I was able to make sure that we got them $1,000. Tim, you mentioned the discretionary funds for your budget, and you guys still have, I think you spent something on something. I remember it was
it a posting or something?
something. You spent a little bit. You still have quite a bit left. I gave every town hall $3,333, or well, I think you guys got $3,334, but either way, split it up between the municipal advisory committees, and so you still have quite a bit. So I don't think a problem is going to be to buy one of those, so yeah, shouldn't be an issue. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much for all that.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Before we go to announcements and we leave, thanks for everybody for the hard work, Supervisor Crandall, and continuing to push for our agenda. And yeah, I was really impressed with Lars. So check that out on YouTube. PEG TV, Lake County, subscribe. That's Thomas's universe, and it's fantastic.
And
Say Lake County PEG TV.
we'll have.
Make sure it's Lake County, because there's a bunch of them. You'll get Texas or Florida on Lake County, Florida.
And we're,
We can post that on the website, the plan, it's on the agenda.
Which plan?
What? Oh, you mean the link to the BOS YouTube?
The map.
for the.
Yeah, I mean, we can check into that,
It
yeah.
will be on there tonight. It's one of the things that.
Oh, awesome.
It's not just the map, it's the whole presentation.
Okay.
You just go to the BOS agenda and it's right in there.
So Julie was just talking about adding the BOS agenda for the road recovery to our Worth website. Can you give us the Worth link, Lisa?
The link?
Our address site? And he's going to put it.
LakeCountyWorth.org.
And you see it up on the screen. Thank you, Betty, for that. Becky,
I think both will get you there.
That'll get you there, because I use that. So I tested it, and it's going to get you to the website. So it's getting bigger, and it's going to get bigger and bigger for Portal. Thank you, Lisa.
And we'll put the website on the agenda.
It'll be on the agenda. We'll communicate better. Always doing better. So, okay, announcements that I have is there is on our website electric vehicle infrastructure plan. They've been going around all the town halls. They couldn't make ours, but by the 19th, if you want to go to our website, and you can make a suggestion of where the EV chargers should be. I don't know if they have funding particularly, but they want to know your feedback on where you can get that link through our website right now. And Ray, go ahead.
Name's Ray Frederick, Upper Lake. I just want to say that I'm the newly elected steward at the Grange, Bachelor Valley Grange. And our president brought some applications, and no?
She didn't.
She didn't? Okay. Well, I'd like to invite everybody the second Monday of the new year to attend one of our meetings. We're going to try to get back all the events that they've had in the past years. I'm not a longtime Upper Lake resident. Never really knew what a Grange was till we started going. And if there's people here, they used to have pancake breakfast, bingo, dancing, meetings. They used to rent the hall out, and everything is due to the members of the club. So I invite you to the next meeting, second Monday, first of the year.
It's awesome, all the great
Thank you.
work on that. Anybody else like to make an announcement before we adjourn?
I have a couple announcements.
Okay.
So thank you, Ray. Yes, our next meeting is the second Monday. You do not need to prepare an application beforehand. You can actually complete it on site at our meetings. We are now up to 29 members, which is really great. That's not including the children. So that's one update. The second, and we are hall rentals. I'm getting a lot of inquiries about hall rentals. That is absolutely one of our priorities. We need insurance first, and we need to get a couple things done with the hall first. So we're really shooting for the first quarter of the year to be able to do something on that. But if you're getting inquiries now, you can send them to any of the officers and we will talk about it. But as of right now, we're not accepting rentals today. The second update is the website is completely updated, including all of the agendas, the minutes, the links to the videos. There is now a calendar on the website that is has community events. So the East meeting for tomorrow is on there. The Grange meetings, I would like to put the Gleaners distributions on there. So if you have a community-focused event, you can email Thomas or myself, and we will add it to that calendar. We had over 130 people, unique individuals, go to our website in November.
Yay.
That is fantastic. We're going to keep that momentum. It'll be updated every meeting. And then the last one is the Main Street lights. I have been working diligently with Public Works to try and get these lights fixed. There's now, I think, 3 or 4 of them out instead of just 2. I have heard, EJ, thank you so much. He's been working with the Special Districts Administrator to try and get some pep in their step. What I'm hearing is the challenge is that they can't just change them. Public Works can't change them. They have to coordinate with PG&E to change them. And there's a whole bunch of like higher priority projects. But the second that there is a date for that, they're going to be letting me know, and I will make sure it's everyone is aware of when those are happening. So I just wanted to give an update because we started that in August. So.
Great job. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. Something I need to add on something I didn't talk about improvement is adding more of our information, including our Worth email. And so we got to do better. We will do better next month and keep advertising all these links so people know how to get information and become more part of the community and service, help out everybody. Tom?
Yeah, just a couple things. First, I just want to commend the Worth Board. I've been going here pretty much the whole year. I don't think I missed one. And I've just seen how great this town hall has grown and how sophisticated. You guys should be very proud of yourselves. I just want to thank you for that. I do have just a small suggestion that vast amount of money that you have and from the discretionary fund, maybe use a little bit for that banner that Betsy recommended. It would be a great idea. And then I also want to, Sunday the Gleaners there was a fundraising for the Gleaners at Soper Reese, which was fantastic. Supervisor Rasmussen has donated a significant portion of his discretionary fund to the Gleaners. As some of us here know, that Gleaners is the food bank of record for Lake County, and especially this time of year. Anything that you can do to help, it's going to be a tough year, I think, next year. So anything you can do to help the Gleaners help them help our community would be, I think, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it. And Gleaners is tomorrow, so, right? In the morning at the event center.
We have groceries for 240 households. No one will be turned away. I have something called a pink slip. If we run out before the end of the session, we'll turn you up with a pink slip and send you over to Finley, and they should be able to help. I understand the protein is going to be chicken quarters.
Chicken quarters.
All right, Julia?
Hi, Julia Carrera, 3rd District Supervisor candidate. I wanted to remind everybody about a simple gesture for the North Shore chapter. We had our second month of food pickup and delivery to the local food pantry at the Nice Community Baptist Church. We picked up 40 bags of food. Our next pickup is January 10th. Claudine, I'd really like to include the senior center as part of the food distribution when you get a chance. And I hope everybody signs up. It's really easy. You just go online, click register, put in your zip code, and it takes you right there. And it's really simple. You don't have to do it every month. You can do it one month. You can do it another month. You can drive instead of donating food, or do both. And we have great drivers and great volunteers. And actually, the communities come together, and we've created recipes that we're providing in the so that people can. I can't forget the title, the catchy title we came up with, but something about from our simple kitchen to your simple kitchen neighborhood recipes, or something like that. And then I also wanted to mention that SWIM and I and North Shore Fire are partnering for a coffee conversation at the Nice SWIM location on Highway 20 this Friday from 9 to 11 to talk about our community, brainstorm about solutions for any concerns, and what we plan for the future of Lake County. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
I just wanted to make a couple comments. Since we're in the holiday season, and I just wanted to share how impressed I was with the Upper Lake Christmas light parade. It was absolutely the most sensational one I've seen, and I've seen them all. So the spirit is back. I mean, that's a lot of hard work that people, put out to decorate all those floats, and yeah, it was amazing. And I think there's 132 children that will be provided with Christmas gifts through. I'm not sure what Sarah's organization is, but anyway, people have donated towards these children that are in need, and along that line, the wellness center that is run through the Unified School District is an amazing place. I think I've talked about it before, but it brings families together to maybe wash clothes, dry clothes, take a shower, whatever. But it's right on the corner of Government and First Street. It is a remarkable place for families in need to come together and be provided for.
All right, so with that, I'd like to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year to everyone. I know there's a lot going on in our world, in our county, in our orbit with things that we see constantly, but you guys we all have great hearts here. And we give, all you give back to this community is essential to prospering. So have a great rest of the month. Enjoy, and we'll see you next month. Thank you so much. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
Good meeting.